Good morning. It's a beautiful day for a run. Today, I finished my third 40-mile week in a row. The culmination of the summer of running 2026. Eddie in the comments said, boring runs or scoring runs. I'm going to keep that quote. That's a good one. There's many marathon training plans and even half marathon plans that have 40 miles as their peak, their goal. You think the famous Luke Humphreys plan with the 16-mile long run that peaks out in the 40s for the peak weeks. The Boston Marathon plan peaks out around 40. Fleet feets tend to go 40 to 50, and of course a lot of professional runners run many more, but that's not why I'm peaking at 40 miles at the end of summer. I'm not running a marathon anytime soon. Well, for me, this 40-mile week is part of a bigger story, and it takes us back to my fitness. On my 50th birthday, I'm now 51, I ran my half marathon PR. Training by feel, making sure I ran over distance, and eating a whole food plant-based diet that was low in salt, oil, sugar. I then decided I was ready to take on the marathon again. For my second marathon build, I got two 20-plus milers, and I was ready to have a PR in that too. But a week before, I wrecked my bicycle. Injured my knees, elbows, wrists, shoulder, had a concussion. Most of that was good within a couple weeks, but the shoulder caused me pain for the rest of the school year and kept me from working out. I couldn't just jump on my bike. I couldn't just lift weights. I couldn't do any alternative things, and no running, or very little. And it was a cold winter too, so it made it hard to get back to it. Start of this summer, I gained most of my weight back. My diet was not nearly so clean. In fact, I was 312 pounds in June. Currently, well, I'm going to Weight Watchers today. You'll see I'm more than 25 pounds down. And these 40 miles, 3 40-mile weeks in a row, are my rebuild to fitness. My story, not your story. My paces, not your paces. My goals, not your goals. But in June, we went to Colorado, and I could barely hike 3 miles in the Rocky Mountain National Park without gasping for breath. My wife and son had left me far behind, me getting back to the car an hour behind them. Me having to hike Bear Lake, right? Large chunks of Rocky Mountain National Park alone for hours, while my wife and son were popping up the hill with a little problem, told me I had fallen quite some distance from my 50-year-old half marathon PR. And my strength has always been aerobic ability, not speed. I've never been fast. I've also always been pretty strong. But just being able to go easy for a long time without having to rest. And that was gone. So we get back from Colorado, and I start running. I start putting consistency on my weekly goals. And I start running almost every day. And then scout camp came. At that point I'd built up to about 20 miles. But at scout camp I had to hike around on rocky footing, came back, and my Achilles gave me 3 days off. And so then I had to build up again. But I made it, and here we are, August, and next week school starts. So today is really, well, this is really the end of my summer of running. This is the last week update for summer of running. And we're heading into Frosty Looper 8-hour race vlog. And that'll be training for that. Now, will I be able to keep 40 miles next week with school or the week after? Maybe, maybe not. But if I do go down some, I can build back up. I know I can. I guess this is a pretty long one. It is what it is. There we go. I lost just over 30 pounds this summer. From 312 down to 281 point something. That's gotta feel good, right? Hard work of summer. Got a lot done. Hello, beautiful flowers. I'll never understand how VO2 max though works. Lose 30 pounds and VO2 max stays the same. Run 40 miles a week. VO2 max is the same as when I couldn't hike 3 miles at the beginning of the summer. There we go, bottom 20% of my VO2 max for my age and gender. So the rest of you 51-year-old men, 4 out of 5 of you should be lining up even more than 40 miles a week. Green. There we go, that's 40 miles this week. No long runs either.